Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So here we are seeing how a living entity, after attaining, so when he passes through boyhood, childhood, now he is a youth, an adult. So in this condition, what all he undergoes, what he will get attracted to, and what will be the result of such false attraction. So that's the thing we are seeing here. So this person becomes attached to a woman. He becomes uncontrolled in his senses. Especially it is mentioned in one of the previous verse how his tongue, belly and genitals becomes uncontrolled. He falls victim to sexual enjoyment and gratification of the palate, because of which he loses many good qualities. Satyam, Shaucham, Daya, Maunam, Buddhir, Shrir, Hrir, Yasha, Kshama, Shama, Dama, Bhaga, everything becomes depleted. So then in today's verse it is said, Teshu Ashanteshu Mudheshu. So this is the first thing we need to understand. Such a person is called as a Mudha, a foolish person. And he is Ashanteshu. He is a coarse fool, Prabhupada says. Meaning, a person without a steadfast mind, unable to control himself, who becomes agitated in the presence of the opposite sex. Teshu ashanteshu mudheshu khanditatmasu asadhushu. Khandita atmasu, bereft of self-realization. The knowledge that he is not the body, he is spirit, soul, part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. His eternal occupation is to be engaged in loving service towards the Supreme Lord. He forgets all of these things completely. Asadhushu, he gets into committing all kinds of wicked activities. Sangam na kuryat shocheshu. Na kuryat sangam. One should not associate with such persons. So this is the instruction given to us actually. Don't associate with such persons. What kind of persons? Who are coarse, foolish, bereft of all spiritual knowledge. Yoshit kridam mrigeshu cha, who is no more than a dancing dog in the hands of a woman. So we should not associate with such people. Yoshit Krida. Yoshit means woman. Krida Mrigesha means dancing dogs. So we find many people, they have some pet dogs, and the dogs, they behave, they act in varieties of ways to please its master. So the person comes, he makes maybe some hand gesture or some indication, and the dog moves in certain way, acts in certain way. He makes some sound, some code words he would have taught, and the dog, behaves in certain specific way. And something he may say, the dog may try to stand in two legs and dance, and varieties of things. We may be aware of these things, especially in earlier days, circus. There are some, even wild animals they used to tame like that. So the animal, the pet animal, dances according to the tune of the master. However he wants, it dances. Likewise, a man bereft of spiritual knowledge, Kanditatmasu, asadushu, ashanteshu, moodheshu, becoming a coarse fool. If he becomes a dancing dog in the hands of women, then all his spiritual advancement is stopped. So this is the indication given here. So the translation goes like this: one should not associate with a coarse fool who is bereft of the knowledge of self-realization and who is no more than a dancing dog in the hands of a woman. So, now just like how we understood dancing dog, how it behaves, in case of human beings, how actually a man behaves if he becomes a Krida Mriga in the hands of a woman. This description, there's a big description given in the 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, in the description of the story of Puranjana. So the Puranjana, the famous story, there we find an elaborate description given regarding how exactly a man behaves when he becomes a dancing dog in the hands of a woman. Let us see, I'll read out that portion. So this is when the king Puranjana enters the city of Navadvarapuri. There he finds this beautiful lady and he becomes attracted to her and in fact associates with her. And then what happens? I'll read out that portion. When the queen drank liquor, King Puranjana also engaged in drinking. When the queen dined, he used to dine with her. And when she chewed, King Puranjana used to chew along with her. When the queen sang, he also sang. Similarly, when the queen cried, he also cried. And when the queen laughed, he also laughed. When the queen talked loosely, he also talked loosely. And when the queen walked, the king walked behind her. When the queen would stand still, the king would also stand still. And when the queen would lie down in bed, he would also follow and lie down with her. And when the queen sat, he also would sit. And when the queen heard something, he would follow her to hear the same thing. When the queen saw something, the king would also look at it. And when the queen smelled something, the king would follow her to smell the same thing. When the queen touched something, the king would also touch it. And when the dear queen was lamenting, the poor king also had to follow in her lamentation. In the same way, when the queen felt enjoyment, he also enjoyed. And when the queen was satisfied, the king also felt satisfaction. Vipralabdo mahishyavam sarva prakriti vanchitaha nechan anukaroti agnyaha klaibyat kridam mrugho yatha. In this way, the king Puranjana was captivated by his nice wife and was thus cheated. Indeed, he became cheated in his whole existence. In this way, King Puranjana was captivated by his nice wife and was thus cheated. Indeed, he became cheated in his whole existence in the material world. Even against that poor foolish king's desire, he remained under the control of his wife, just like a pet animal that dances according to the order of its master. Okay. So this is how we see this description given in the Bhagavatam, the story of Puranjana, how anichan anukaroti agnyaha, helplessly, even though he may not be desiring to do so, helplessly he had become a dancing dog in the hands of his wife, the queen. So in this way, all of his spiritual pursuits were lost. All of his various qualities, nice qualities, it's mentioned here in the purport, Srila Prabhupada mentions. Advancement in Krishna consciousness involves developing the qualities of truthfulness, cleanliness, mercy, gravity, intelligence and spiritual knowledge, simplicity, material opulence, fame, forgiveness, and control of the mind and senses. See, as we advance in our spiritual life, these are the qualities which, we should go on increasing. These are the symptoms through which, like say, we can understand whether I am advancing or not. But when a person associates with a man who is no more than a dancing dog in the hands of a woman, completely addicted to sense gratification, then all of these qualities deplete. Now, in another portion of the Srimad Bhagavatam, this comes in the 11th canto, in the description given by Lord Krishna to Uddhava. Uddhava asks number of questions, and all of these qualities specifically mentioned here, along with this many other qualities, what are they? He goes on asking. And Krishna answers to each one of them, describing in just one sentence what these different qualities, whatever godly qualities or saintly qualities which any devotee aspires for, what these qualities stand for. I'll just read that portion. So first thing, Satyam or truthfulness, meaning Satyam cha samadarshanam. Truthfulness means to speak the truth in a pleasing way as declared by great sages. So what is truthfulness? Krishna explains that Satyam cha samadarshanam. The truth which is declared by great sages, which are recorded in the Vedic literatures, to speak them, that is truthfulness. Any so-called truth, what we speak based on our personal experiences, what we see, the relative things in the material world, entire material world is temporary, and illusory. So whatever we discuss related to those things cannot be known as real truth. Real truth is that which is given in the Vedic literatures, which is spoken by the great sages, and that person who boldly speaks them, he is a real truthful person. Just like Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Dukkhalayam ashashvatam. This material world is a temporary place full of miseries. We need to speak about it. Antavanta ime deha nityasyokta sharirinaha. This material body is temporary. Antavanta, today or tomorrow it is bound to end. So these are the real truths of life, facts of life. And that person who speaks these things, he is really a truthful person. Then, Shaucham. Shaucham generally like cleanliness we say. Krishna describes to Uddhava in this way. Karmasu asangamaha shaucham. Karmasu asangamaha. Meaning, cleanliness is detachment in fruitive activities. Karma, we do some activity with the expectation of some result. So we call it as fruitive activities or kamya karma. So when this desire is there, that I want to achieve something of what endeavor I have put, it is unclean. The mental, the mind is unclean. We are expecting something of whatever the results of whatever action you have done. Then shaucha, cleanliness is not there. So real shaucham is karmasu asangamaha, detachment in fruitive activities. That is real cleanliness. Then daya or mercy, or maybe like dana or charity. Dandanyasaha param danam. Dandanyasaha, being aggressive towards others, aggression towards others. Being violent, aggression towards others. Giving up that is real charity. Then maunam or being grave or being steadfast, or dhriti also we call, being grave, being steadfast. What is it? Jihva upasta jayo dhritihi. Jihva upasta jayaha. Steadfastness occurs when one controls or conquers the tongue and the genitals. Jihva upasta jayaha dhritihi. When a man is able to control his tongue and his genitals, then he is said to be a man of gravity or a man of steadfastness or dhriti. Then buddhihi, or in what we say intelligence. Pandito bandha mokshavit. A real intelligent man, a pandita, is he who is aware of bandha moksha vit, who knows what activities, what things causes bondage for me in this material world, and what are the things which liberates me from this material world. Because externally looking, the activity may appear the same, but there is gulf of difference. Just like we may see a devotee very respectfully honoring prasadam. Next to him, another man, just like when we are traveling in train, we also will keep taking some prasadam, devotees when they travel. Likewise, next to us, there are many other people who sit next to us, open their lunch boxes, and they also keep taking their food. One activity is liberating. Another activity is causing further bondage. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Ye pachanti atmakaranat bunjate tu agham papa. Those who cook for themselves, eat for the satisfaction of their palate, they are eating nothing but sins only. But yajnashishtashinas santo muchante sarvakilvishaye. By accepting the remnants of food offered to the Lord, a devotee becomes free from all sins. Externally looking, there is no difference. Both are eating something, but there is gulf of difference. So who is really an intelligent man or a pandita? Panditaha bandha mokshavit, who is aware of what causes bondage in this material world and what causes liberation from this material world. He is a real pandita. Then Bhagaha or fortune or Shri prosperity, that is defined as Shri Guna Nairapekshadhyah, detachment from material things. So beauty is to possess good qualities such as detachment. A person who is detached from material sense gratification or any material things, he is said to be a person with real beauty or real whatever fortune we say. Gunadyohi adhya uchyate. A person who possesses good qualities is actually a person, a fortunate person, a person who is very rich man, a person who is rich with all good qualities. Then Hri means shyness or maybe simplicity. So that is defined in this way. Jugupsa Hrir Akarmasu. Real being shyful or modest, we say. Real modesty is to be disgusted with improper activities. So there are few things what we call as improper. Maybe in devotee's case, a sadhaka's case, there are some instructions given by our spiritual master, and as sadhakas we try to live up to that standard. And sometimes we may fall, we may break those rules, being ashamed, being disgusted of not following the rules and regulations, of being ashamed of having performed some improper activities. This is real modesty. Hrihi. And then Shama, control of the mind. Shamo manishta buddher. Absorbing the intelligence in me constitute real mental equilibrium. Being mental equilibrium. Shama means absorbing our intelligence in Krishna. In Bhagavad we hear Mayyeva mana adatsva may buddhim niveshaya. Because the mind is there, mind is something below the intelligence. Intelligence is superior to the mind. So when we absorb the intelligence towards Krishna, anything related to Krishna, that's the way to control the mind. If this is not done, mind will drag the intelligence towards performing various sense gratification activities. And finally, Damaha, control of the senses. Dama Indriya Samyamaha, complete discipline of the senses is self-control. Discipline the senses. Okay, a list of all of these qualities are mentioned here. And what does Prabhupada say? Advancement in Krishna consciousness involves developing all of these qualities: truthfulness, cleanliness, mercy, gravity, intelligence, and spiritual knowledge, simplicity, and all of these. All these qualities are to be manifested with the progress of Krishna consciousness. So we are progressing in Krishna consciousness. Number of years are increasing. So much time we have spent here means all of these qualities should increase within us. All these qualities are to be manifested with the progress of Krishna consciousness. But if one associates with a Shudra, a foolish person who is like a dancing dog in the hands of a woman, then he cannot make any progress. Because this bondage is so entangling that all of these good qualities becomes lost, becomes depleted. So that's the gravity, that's the seriousness of what is being spoken here in this portion of the Bhagavatam. And also, one more point Srila Prabhupada mentions in the purport. Lord Chaitanya has advised that any person who is engaged in Krishna consciousness and who desires to pass beyond material essence must not associate himself with women or with persons interested in material enjoyment. So here we should be very alert in understanding this. Associating with women means this, we are not referring to the Grihastha ashrama. A man religiously being connected with a woman, keeping his spiritual activities in the center of his home and performing all household activities, that is completely accepted. But a man who is attached to a woman just for the purpose of sense gratification, this is what is condemned here. The way we are telling a man is attached to a woman, the opposite also applies. A woman, when she becomes attached to a man just for the purpose of sense gratification, so when there is mutual attraction for the purpose of their own personal sense gratification, then all of these qualities depletes. On the other hand, if a woman becomes helpful to her husband in the matter of his spiritual advancement, then both of them advance, that is accepted. But on the other hand, the way it is given here, he becomes a dancing dog in the hands of a woman just for his sensual pleasures, then all qualities are depleted. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that, so actually here the verse which is being referred to from the Chaitanya Charitamrita is this verse, which Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu quotes from some other Purana to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. When Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya brought the proposal to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to go and meet the king, King Prataparudra is a great devotee who would like to meet you, like Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya tried to fix an appointment for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to meet the king. Then Mahaprabhu outright he denied this application. And this was the verse he quoted. Nishkinchanasya bhagavad bhajanonmukhasya param param jigimishor bhavasagarasya sandarshanam vishayinam athayoshitam cha ha hanta vishabhakshano apyasadhu vishabhakshanat api asadhu. Vishabhakshana, drinking poison. It is more dangerous than drinking poison. What is that? It's exactly what today in the purport Srila Prabhupada says. For a person seeking advancement in Krishna consciousness, such association is more dangerous than suicide, giving up one's life or drinking poison. What is that? Sandarshana Vishayina Athayoshitam cha. Associating with women or persons who are too addicted to women for sensual enjoyment. Associating with such people is more dangerous than giving up one's life. If at all we are also interested in enjoying this material world, you can go ahead. But Bhagavan Bhajanon Mukhasya Param Param Jigimishor Bhavasagarasya. So spiritualists means what? We all want to give up this temporary material world and go back to Godhead. It is said how there is the Vaitarani river. On one side there is a material world, and on the other side there is the spiritual world. In between there is this Vaitarani. So we are all fallen conditioned souls in this material world. Now, if at all we want to cross this river and jump to the other side of the river, Jigimishor, see this act is there. It's not some simple walk, something slightly you go and no. You have to take that great leap, just like the way Hanuman jumped and crossed over and he landed on Lanka. So likewise, a spiritualist means with all energy, enthusiasm, vigor, we need to engage ourselves Tivrena Bhakti Yogena and all those these three tivrata, or the intensity of devotional service, jigging ashore, we have to jump and cross over this Vaitarani river to reach the other shore, the spiritual world. For such a person, if at all this desire is there for you, that you want to cross over, then association with women and people addicted to women is more dangerous than consuming poison. Sandarshanam vishayinam atha yoshitam cha ha hanta hanta vishabhakshanato api asadhu. It is asadhu, not approved. Then, so there another verse was quoted. Akaradapi betavyam strinam vishayinam api yataher manasak shobha tatha tasya kriterapi. Just as one is immediately frightened upon seeing a live serpent or even the form of a serpent, one endeavoring for self-realization should similarly fear a materialistic person and woman. Indeed, he should not even glance at their bodily features. See, usually for a man, a woman's bodily features are attractive. For a woman, a man's bodily features are attractive. Just by looking at them, they take pleasure. But a spiritualist should be very fearful. How should he be fearful? The example is given. We are walking somewhere, we find one live snake, a serpent, crawling around, or maybe they would have raised his hood and hissing at us. We will become very fearful, very alert, try to go away, run away from that. So that's the way, bhetavyam, we should be fearful when our mind and senses get attracted towards the opposite sex. Akaradapi bhetavyam, just looking at that form also, a person, this is how his reaction should be. Just like looking like at a snake, he becomes very fearful. Likewise, looking at the form of the woman, a person, a spiritualist who is desiring to advance in his spiritual life should become fearful. A live serpent, that's the way, that's the consciousness, that's the perspective what he is supposed to have. So there, Srila Prabhupada says, on the whole, for spiritual advancement, one must give up the company of women. This is what is meant by the order of sannyasa, the renounced order. Before taking sannyasa or completely renouncing the material world, one has to practice avoiding illicit sex. Sex life, licit or illicit, is practically the same. But through illicit sex, one becomes more and more captivated. By regulating one's sex life, there is a chance that one may eventually be able to renounce sex and renounce the association of women. If this can be done, advancement spiritual life comes very easily. So only when we avoid this, we can easily advance in our spiritual life. In conclusion, see, we should understand how it is a very great force which is there in this material world, attraction between man and woman. And specifically as stated in this verse, Kridam Yoshit Kridam Mrigeshu cha. A man becomes so captivated to the form of the woman, he becomes like a dancing dog in her hands. One thing we need to understand, somewhere we have to dance. See, that's a natural propensity of the spirit soul. We have, we have in Brahma Samhita, we read the description. Kathaganam, Natyam, Gamanamapi, Natyam, Gamanamapi. Every step is a dance. So in the spiritual world, there's full of dance. So, how we need to dovetail this propensity? See, the way our Acharya, our spiritual master, we find this whatever in the Markine Bhagavata Dharma, which Srila Prabhupada wrote when he was on board to America in the ship. He writes, Ani yacho yadi Prabhu amare nachate, nachao Prabhu nachao se mate, kashtera puthali jata nachao se mate. Oh Lord, I am just like a puppet in your hands. So, if you have brought me here to dance, then make me dance, make me dance. Oh Lord, make me dance as you like. See, we should offer ourselves in the hands of the Master, in the hands of the Supreme Lord, and we have to dance according to their tunes. However they want us to dance, where to dance. Prabhupada is writing, my dear Lord Krishna, you have brought me here to the Western world, the place of mlechas. It is you who have brought me here. Now it is left to you, it's in your hands. You make me dance however you want. So this is the way. If we offer ourselves completely to our spiritual master and to the Supreme Lord and dance according to their tunes, this is the only way to escape from dancing to the tunes of essentially inclined women. Otherwise just we become a dancing dog in their hands. We have also heard the description given in Chaitanya Charitamrita of Vakreshwara Pandit. It is said, Vakreshwara Pandit once, he became so ecstatic and danced continuously for 72 hours. 3 continuous days dancing. Just imagine. See, that's the ecstatic state which, if we can develop love towards the Supreme Lord, taste for chanting and hearing the holy names, His pastimes, this is that ecstatic dancing condition we can elevate ourselves to and finally completely become eligible to go back to Godhead for the eternal life of dancing with Krishna. Otherwise, if we don't endeavor for this, we have to dance in the hands of a woman, I said, like a dancing dog. So we'll conclude with this. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki,